Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Ultimate General Civil War, the less well-regarded edition, the edition where I look at my blooper, if you will, for the attack on Richmond. So, throughout my recently concluded Union Let's Play of Ultimate General Civil War, I never restarted in the middle of a fight. So if I lost a battle, which only occurred once, other than Richmond, I just continued playing through in the campaign. Richmond, however, my first attempt at Richmond, I live streamed it. It was 2 hours of struggle, to say the least. And I ended up playing it again. What you've already seen in the previous videos was my successful assault on Richmond. But today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be taking a look at my failed attempt to take Richmond. And it was not pretty. I did just about everything wrong that you could do. I whined and complained a fair amount during the stream, so I'll warn you about that. But a lot of people said they found it hilarious. A lot of people asked me to post it on the channel, so that's what I'm going to do. I will break this up into multiple parts. I will clearly label this entire series, these 4 episodes or so, as the outtakes, if you will, or the failure on the attempt to take Richmond. So that's what's going to be coming up on the channel the next few days. Additionally, the other day I did start a brand new live stream series playing Ultimate General Civil War from the Confederate side. So that will start appearing on the channel. I'm not taking back what I said. There are several other projects, more intensive projects, more history-focused projects, deeper dives, returning to cold waters, as well as a few other things that I'm working on. But this will kind of continue on the side, maybe every other day, maybe every couple of days, or maybe every day where I've got a serious episode every once in a while, and then, continuing content of this coming out here and there. So I'm not sure exactly how everything will be staggered, but at least for the next few days while I'm working on these other projects, you'll continue to see my blooper attempt at taking Richmond, and then we'll eventually start to kind of air the Confederate series again, which I started with a 2-hour stream just 2 days ago. For those of you who are interested, I will probably live stream Ultimate General Civil War tonight, if you're watching this on the day it posts, so Wednesday night, and continue through the Shiloh campaign, which we're now in the midst of. With that being said, guys, I'm just going to sit back and let you enjoy my attempt to play Ultimate General Civil War and my attempt to attack and take Richmond. Hopefully it is more fun for you to watch than it was for me to play. Thanks, guys. Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to our Union campaign Let's Play in the new Game Lab Games Ultimate General Civil War, which is of course the sequel to the 2014 hit Ultimate General Gettysburg. Ultimate General Civil War gives you a look at the entire Civil War and allows you to play dozens of different battles, unlike Ultimate General Gettysburg, which was limited to a single battle. We have played as the Union campaign for more than 40, maybe more than 50 episodes at this point, and we have closed in on the final objective, the granddaddy of them all, Richmond, the capital of the Confederacy, the base of supplies of what is left of Robert E. Lee's army, and assuming he hasn't been sacked. And the reason I say that is, oh my goodness, there is no way this war would still be going on if this was indeed the way the war was fought. We have won every single battle, with one exception, a cavalry raid, which we didn't even get to use our own troops in. But other than that, we've won every single battle in this war thus far. We have maxed out as a general our ability to have political bonuses, economy, medicine, training, nearly maxed out army organization, and have done a respectable job on logistics and reconnaissance. We have won numerous awards, and we have now built 2 full-size maxed-out corps of almost 50,000 men apiece, with a 3rd corps of about 35,000 men. We have a 4th corps, but no one is in it. We have, in essence, fought the Civil War to, the South is getting drubbed, right? Just absolutely bludgeoned. And I'm kind of curious to see what the casualty figures will be after the final battle. Now, in between videos, I know I streamed last night, and I had won the sort of run-up battles to the Battle of Richmond, Since then, I have gone back and reorganized my forces to max out every one of these brigades in the first 2 corps. That did mean the Iron Brigade, which had some Spencers, I actually went around and sold those Spencers, replaced them with very good M1863 Springfields. They've got a bayonet on them, so they're better at melee, and this is going to be primarily an assault on Confederate trenches, is my understanding. So having better weapons that allow you to melee, I think will be more valuable. It did require me in some cases to spend some money on some rookies for some of these crack regiments in our Guard division, the 1st Division, but overall this division is still very, very good. You can see here we've got very good weapons throughout the entire division, a bunch of 1861s, a few 1863s, a lone brigade with 1855s. And that was all done mainly because you can see here we've got 11,000 men in reserve, but no money. And we've sold all of the money, all of the weapons in our armory, all gone. And that was to enable us to build the largest possible army. Now, that does mean some of these units have some bad weapons. These guys have 1861s, these guys have Enfields, but there's also some units that have some older weapons, like 1842 smoothbores, M&J Type 2s, more 1842 smoothbores. But at the end of the day, I think I'm okay with that because these weapons have really good melee skills, or traits, so they should allow us to fight in trench warfare relatively effectively. Now, if we go to the Battle of Richmond and we hit start here, we'll see that we have quite a large force indeed. We have some 142,000 men that we can bring to battle. By far the largest force. This is 40,000 men more than any other battle I've brought troops to. The Confederates have some 65,000 men, so they don't have an insignificant army, according to intelligence, but they definitely don't, they're outnumbered more than 2 to 1. So we should, again, 2 to 1, but they're in trenches. So we'll see how this all works out. Ideally, we penetrate in one place, roll up the line, and, rush to Richmond and take it. Now, before we actually get into the battle, because we've won every one of the run-up battles to Richmond, this army is weaker. That 60-some-odd thousand Confederates is a weaker force than it otherwise would be. That's because we won the Battle of Cold Harbor in smashing style, losing only 4,000 men, and the enemy army is therefore 5% weaker. Additionally, we won the Battle of Petersburg, and thus the enemy morale is 10% lower, which should make them easier to break and defeat. Beyond that, we defeated the enemy army at the Battle of Atlanta, diminishing the enemy's supply lines to Virginia. This means enemy weapons are 15% worse than they are before. So again, the morale will make the enemy easier to break. The inferior weapons will make the enemy less effective in defending their trench line. And the reduced army size will make the enemy army more scarce and less able to deal with our assaults. That's the state of the war leading into the Battle of Richmond. We have the most men, by far. We have a overwhelming level of success thus far in these battles. It looks like there may be some additional trenches in the rear toward Richmond. And now, at the end of the day, the goal must be to overwhelm what's left of the Confederates and defeat them. Drive them from the field and win the Civil War. We're attacking on the left, we're attacking on the right, and we have reinforcements. So we've got 3 corps we've got to deploy. The right flank, I'm going to put my best troops. Why is that, you might ask? Well, let's read through the description of the Battle of Richmond and figure out why. We have endured 4 years of continuous fighting with the rebels, but we can now bring a sudden end to the war by capturing the capital of the Confederacy. Unfortunately, attempting a siege will surely add another year to the war. A year we do not have. The Confederates are close to receiving help from Europe that would surely prolong the war, making the population making the population discontent as their sons continue to die in the field, weakening our ability to win the war. However, an immediate assault upon Richmond would end the war in days, not months. The plan is simple. As the bulk of our army pins the rebels north of Richmond, you are going to quickly shift 2 corps to the east of Richmond, storm the lightly defended trenches. There. Oh my god, reading is a skill. Be swift. When the Confederates realize your intentions, they will shift their own army to mirror your movements. Godspeed, General. We need victory this day. So, the battle will be joined. It seems the bulk of the Confederate forces will be shifting to the far right. The terrain in the right is more open. Means we will likely lose more casualties in the south. The north is more shielded. My best troops are going to go where the fighting is the hardest. My second best troops are going to go where it's slightly less hard but still important. And my reinforcements will be my green troops. Hopefully they will race through the breach. They won't have to deal with being volleyed endlessly from entrenched positions. And they will exploit the advantage and drive the enemy from the field. You can see here 142,000 men, 288 guns, 74 brigades, 12 divisions, 3 corps. Now this says the enemy has 7 corps, somehow. Those must be tiny-ass corps. 16 divisions, again, somehow, must be tiny-ass divisions. 98 brigades. Somehow they outnumber us in corps, divisions, and brigades, and we still outnumber them more than 2 to 1 and by more than 80 guns. So, we'll see what happens, folks. Let's go ahead and hit start. Alright. Sir, our first corps will begin attacking on the battlefield located east of Richmond to mask our attack from enemy reconnaissance. We have maneuvered our corps into position one by one. Our main objective is to secure the first defensive layer of trenches east of the city. Reconnaissance reveals a lightly defended section. It starts from here. Extends further south to this point. God, these are a lot of trenches. And ends south of the York River at the Williamsburg Road. Oh no, not trenches, not forts. Our next step will be to capture the forts that guard Richmond's eastern side and finally the city itself. Oh my god. Our task will not be easy. As soon as the Confederates realize the main attack is coming from the east, they will begin continuously reinforcing their defenses using Mechanicsville Road and the railroads. Good luck to us all, General. The vanguard of our corps is arriving. The rebels should not expect an attack at this area, so they should have less infantry guarding the trenches. Reconnaissance revealed that Longstreet commands those troops. Great, Longstreet. Just the guy you want to be attacking when he's on the defensive, right? First, we have to secure this trench command post located here. And here, I'm guessing. And this sector. Advance! Alright, well, you can see here, Gibbon's Corps. We've got 15 brigades that come on the field initially, so we're limited with how many troops we have. Gibbon is our second corps. And we've got 2 objectives we have to hold. Now, fortunately, these objectives themselves are not entrenched, although they do look to have enemy... What do you call it? They're in town. Well, these guys have trenches in front of them. But in general, it looks like there's maybe towns in front of them or kind of buildings. So what I'm going to do here is we've got 15 brigades. I don't think artillery is going to be terribly useful in attacking enemy troops that are dug in, because it generally isn't. So I'm going to go ahead and mass more infantry than artillery initially. That means we'll have more troops on the field to start. The majority of our reserves will end up being artillery. And we're going to go ahead and assign our troops to move forward here. You can see in the north, we're putting well over 10,000 troops into the assault. I'm going to do the same in the south. We're going to pull our artillery and assign more infantry. That's 6 brigades at 2,500 men. That's what? I can't do math. 15,000 men in the south. That gives us 15,000, 17,500, 20,000 in the north. We'll go ahead and put one more in the south. The southern troops have to overcome entrenchments. The northern troops have sort of, I'm hoping, an easier job. All right. So here we go. Maybe splitting my forces is a bad idea. I'm not sure. I could sweep down the flank, but the southern troops have an advantage of being able to move through these forests, I think. Probably can flank this position by moving through the forest there. So, all right. So we'll start and then we'll go ahead and pause. So the troops in the south are going to do this. They're going to move through this open area. And then right as they're approaching this enemy position, oh god. Right as they're approaching the enemy position, they're going to move into the woods for cover and attack. I'm going to use the roads mainly so they can get into position quicker. I'm going to go ahead and have them use the force in the south. And we'll move them, hopefully, relatively good speed, good order, before swinging them through the force. You can see here it's roughly the same path for all of these troops. They can use that forest for cover as they approach the enemy lines. I'm not going to bother with skirmishers just because, well, hopefully skirmishers aren't an issue. Meanwhile, in the north, these guys are going to kind of go with a frontal assault and hopefully just overwhelm the rebels, taking that center point. We're just going to kind of try and barrel our way through, regardless of casualties. See how this works in the north. We'll have Gibbon up north as well, so he can provide some morale support. And we'll go there. Alright, so maybe I should have used this forest in the north to kind of close position, but we'll see. This is going to be very much a human wave assault. Move our supplies up. We've got 2 hours, it looks like. I don't know if we have to capture both in the first 2 hours. So if we inflict at least 90% casualties to the enemy army, we win regardless of if we hold. Meanwhile, the other option is to, like, take everything, all the forts. But this is all we have here at the moment. Kenneth, if you're talking about statues at Gettysburg, no one's asked Gettysburg to remove statues, so they're not really, to my knowledge, they're not taking a stand so much as no one has said remove statues from Gettysburg. So. Alright. Here comes some artillery. They're shooting at Gibbon. We'll preserve our, Yeah, I mean, not to wade too far into the statue debate, but I think there's a big difference between having statues on a historical battlefield where the actual combat took than there is in front of a courthouse that really has no historical justification to have statues there of basically people who committed treason against the United States. But anyway, now that half the people who are watching this are probably pissed off at me. All right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd be pretty upset if they were trying to remove statues from, again, the battlefields where things happened. I don't think it's that big of a deal if people are saying, maybe we shouldn't have statues in front of the courthouses where nothing actually happened of people who committed treason. But anyway, okay, I swear I'm done. Alright. A lot of men charging here. They're probably all going to die. Gibbon, get up there to give them some morale support. Well, in the south. Break through the lines. Oh, shit. There are skirmishers in the woods. Alright. Finnegan's already been driven back. So is Fife. Okay, so we've broken through here, it looks like. Alright, you guys are going to go pin these guys. I should have used skirmishers here. Run up there. So we've taken command post A. Alright, I want to get these guys through the breach. In the south, we've driven them back already. Alright, so we've driven them back in the south. In the north, we've kind of punched a hole, but we're really exposed. Oh, shit. So that hole may be too narrow. God damn. Move forward, boys. I'm gonna charge this fucking artillery battery. Oh god. They're melting away. Alright, in the south, meanwhile. Alright, so we've got a better penetration here in the south. I don't know why I've got a whole brigade that's driven back there. Alright. I know I'm exposing my flank too much. Let's do this. Confederates have re-secured that northern command post. Fuck. I feel like our flank isn't that vulnerable. Alright, go fucking deal with them. Give them something else to shoot at. Alright, so the northern command post is in trouble. The southern... Oh god, why are you guys doing that? Attach skirmishers to deal with these guys, and then bring the rest of your brigade forward. Well, this was kind of a clusterfuck. How are they flanked? By who? Alright. I should have detached skirmishers from the first. I really need to overwhelm them here in the south to try and break their line on the south. If I can break the line on the south, then I can not have my flank be so exposed. Alright. Troops in the south aren't exactly having an easy time, so much as they are not, you know, all dying. Alright, run. Run. I thought the Confederate morale was supposed to be shitty. We've secured point A. How? I thought these lines were supposed to be lightly held. Oh boy. This is lightly held. I don't know what I don't want to know what reinforced looks like. Alright, so in the south, I think we're doing a little better. Yikes. Alright. So these brigades are literally just all dying on the field. And apparently they're getting shot at, but they can't do jack diddly. We got more brigades. Well, that's good. We're pouring more infantry into the enemy defenses. Quickly repel the rebels before they receive reinforcements. Okay. The assault's continuing further south. New brigades advancing toward the new road. Our new target is this trench command post. As time passes, the rebels are expected to become stronger and receive reinforcements. And the passage of time, AP Hill's corps was spotted, so he's probably about to attack us soon. Okay, that's just great. I wish there was like a double line option or something. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of Alright, so the first corps has arrived. I'm not sure where the rest of these troops are going. We're doing better in the south than we are in the north, so we're going to send some reinforcements north. Cavalry would be nice. Maybe some artillery will help. I don't know. We'll see. I've lost like half my initial force already, I think. Such is the penalty for making sure my initial force is all like infantry, is that all these guys coming up seem to be not infantry. Alright, so we're advancing in the south. We're advancing on the objective in the center now, and we've driven the rebels largely from their works, I think, or we're about to. And we've secured command post B. Okay, that's good. Meanwhile, in the north, not so much. Really? Mahone's division's arriving in the south. That's just great. Good thing that's where we already took the objective. Alright. Alt. Well, you're fucked. How the fuck are you all the way up there? Like, sometimes you're just dumb. The fact that you have to micromanage this as much as you do is kind of annoying. Alright. Fuck's sake. on the double. All right, everybody, that's going to just about do it for this first episode of my failure attempt at taking Richmond. In the north, I am running into a brick wall of Confederate entrenchments and really struggling to gain a toehold. In the south, I have gained a lodgment. I've punched through that front position of the Confederates, which was a little bit exposed through something like a salient, and thus far I'm making some progress there. So we'll see how the southern front evolves. The northern front has been an unfortunate bloodbath and struggle. I think the south is going to go a little bit better, but we'll see. We've still got about an hour and a half left in this particular phase of the battle as I attempt to take the outer works of Richmond without having my entire army destroyed. With that being said, we're going to go and end this episode here, so I hope you've enjoyed this to this point, and until tomorrow, guys, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.